All right, Shalom. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who were well told His truth. And peace and blessings be to the elect. I'm the brother Yashar Kapar. Back at you again. All right, another lesson. And Lord willing, this lesson be edifying to the helpful elect. And we're going to jump straight into it. Starting off with the book of James, chapter 1, verse 3. As a matter of fact, start at verse 2. It says, My brethren, count all joy when I fall into diverse temptation, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. And we all going to fall into what temptations, man. All right, but it's all the trying of our faith. All right, the scripture says, well, the faith is a gift from above, and we all going to get tried, man. All right, especially being a follower of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, knowing this truth. All right, being in the walk, being in the knowing. All right, the Lord is going to try you, man. All right, the Lord is going to try your faith, man. See where your faith relies. All right, and it says what it worketh patience. All right, suffering, man. All right, because we're going to suffer. All right, that's part of the walk. All right, you're going to suffer. You're going to go through things, man. You're going to catch hell. All right, but it's all what the trying of the faith. As the scripture says, what prove a friend. All right, and the Lord is proving us. All right, there's certain things that we have to see or go through, all right, and be tempted by here on this side, especially being in this fucking hellhole, all right, in this melting pot, all right, surrounded by wickedness, family members, wicked, friends, wicked, all right, everyone you see is just wicked all around, and they try to tempt you, all right, they could try to tempt you, all right, but it's all of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man, all right, we can't forget that, all right. Because it's of the Lord, all right, that's tempting you, all right, or may send, things around you, people around you, or a fucking wicked woman, whatever the case may be, it's all of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, the trying of your faith, man, all right. So let's see, let's get this. The book of James, chapter 5, verse 11, it says, Behold, count them happy which endure. Ye have heard the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and tender in mercy. All right, so yeah, we didn't read, all right, we didn't heard the story of Job, all right, the suffering that he went through, all right, but he kept the faith, all right, and that's the faith booster, man, all right, reading and learning and seeing what happened, all right, and what was the end results, all right, but it's all what of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, that he kept the faith, whatever he been through, or whatever he had to go through, man. All right, and the same thing with us, and we're going to catch hell, all right, we're going to go through certain things, all right, but the scripture says, well, be faithful unto death, all right, whether we facing death, you still have to keep that faith, man. So I'm trying to go a little fast. I'm still at the plantation, I'm trying to make it quick, all right. So Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7, it says, I form light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. All right, because it's all of the Lord, evil, all right, the good, all right, whatever whatever you're going through, all right, it's of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man, all right, everything is of the Lord. All right, don't nothing go past, all right, unless it goes through Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. All right. So, what else? Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1. It says, My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. All right, yeah, prepare your soul for temptation. All right, those of you who serve the Lord, being, like I said, being a man in this truth, all right, being in the knowing what's going on, are you going to be tempted? All right, because everyone claims whether they love the Lord, everyone claims that they know the Lord, all right, but when they go through certain things, all right, you get weak, all right, people get weak, all right, we just seen it, all right, we just seen plenty of examples of guys falling out, going back into the world, all right, because they could have been going through certain things, all right, or just been tempted, all right, or a fucking woman that came around, all right, and Jake then got fucking weak and went back into the world, or certain things was placed in this guy's in his way, and he fell for it, man. All right. So you have to prepare yourself for temptation. All right, count the cost. All right, know what you're getting yourselves into. All right, know what this is about. All right, you're gonna lose. All right, certain things here on this side. All right, family members. All right, family members, betrayal. Your woman leaving out, your kids leaving out. All that type of shit, man. All right, but you have to prepare yourself. All right, know what this thing is about. All right, and prepare thyself for temptation. All right, not to get weak. All right, not to fall for the okie doke, man. All right, knowing that it's all of Yahabashim Yahushai. All right, the scripture also says what? The Lord is not going to put you through something that you're not able to bear. So the Lord is going to test you, but He's not going to. He wouldn't test you to the point that you're not going to be able to bear it, man. All right, let's not forget that. All right. Because the Lord, His hand is not short that He can't deliver. All right, or His ear is not heavy that He can't hear. All right, the Lord hears the prayers of the righteous, man. All right. So knowing that, hey man, you shouldn't worry about anything, man. All right, when things get taken away, all right, when you be at a lower state, as the scripture says. All right, because you could be up one day and the next day, hey man, things can get snatched from you. But it's all the trying of the faith, man. So I'm gonna bring out this story. Try to make it quick. All right, because this is a good example, man. So this is Genesis chapter 22. I'm starting verse 1. And it came to pass after these things that Yahweh did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham, He said, Behold, here I am. So that the Lord tempt Abraham, So let's see. Verse 2, it says, And He said, Take now thy son, thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah. Forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon the mountains which I will tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and cleaved the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went into the place which Yahweh had told him. All right, so Abraham got up early and he got straight to it. He didn't question it. And that was his only son, all right, that he loved. All right, but he's like, hey, if that's what it is, all right, so be it. I have to do what the Lord told me to do. So let's continue. Verse 4, it says, Then on the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto the young man, Abide here with the ass, and and the lad will go yonder and worship and come again to you. And Abraham took his wood and the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son, and he took the fire in his hand and the knife. They went both in them together. So Abraham was about to get to it. All right. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father and said, My father. He said, Here I am, my son. And he said, Behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? And Abraham said to his son, Yahweh will provide himself a lamb for the burnt offering. So they went both them together. So Abraham, used wisdom, kind of blew it off, the Lord is going to worry about it. Don't worry about that, So, verse 10, And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of the Lord called unto him in heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. He said, Here I am. He said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him, for now I know that thou fearest Yahweh, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thy only son from me. So hey man, hey, Abraham was going to do what the Lord told him to do. All right, slay his son. All right, and do what he had to do. All right, for the burnt offering. All right, hey, but it was all what the test. All right, of the Lord. You know, it says what? It says the angel called in heaven, Abraham. Abraham, he said, "Here I am." He said, "Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do." Let me see. Neither do thou anything unto him, for now am that thou fearest Yahweh. So Abraham feared the Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, feared the Lord. All right. So, and this is a good example. All right, of fearing the Lord, man. All right, and don't fear. All right, man. Don't fear anything else, but fear Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right. You know, hey, we gonna get tempted on this side, but hey, the temptation, all right, but the fear of the Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai keep us from, being tempted, all right. You know, for a good example, you see what pork laying around, or you go to a function, or you're not giving in, all right, because it's the fear of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. You know, that's gonna keep you away. All right, from evilness, all right, doing wickedness, all right, committing adultery, all right, you may have a woman trying to come on to you, but if she got a man, are you like, hey, no, I fear you, how about Shimei Awashai, I'm not going to fall through, I'm not going to be tempted by this fucking woman, all right, yeah, you're going to, separate yourself and be like, hey, hell no, all right, but hey, this type of things, all right, we have to go through, all right, here on this side, all right, being tempted, man. All right, but fearing Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, all right, is going to keep you away, all right, and not having you give in, all right, for those things, man. All right, but it's all of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, all right. It's the Lord, all right, trying your faith, man. All right, seeing where your faith rely. All right, so I'm not going to make it too long. All right, I'm not going to keep ranting, but I'm ending it off with that. All right, giving all praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Till next time, say Shalom.